All right, let's do the last example. This is the age of volunteers. So ordering them, we get 1, 12, 15, 19, 22, 24, 26, 29, 33, going off my page, 39. Scooch it over a little bit. All right. Now, lower extreme again, it's 1, upper extreme, 39. You can find them right there, convenient. Now I'm going to cross out with my highlighter first to get to my median. So cross, cross, all the way until I get to the middle. And then I happen to have 2 in the middle. So this means I have to average them. I'll do, 22 plus 24 divided by 2, which is 46 divided by 2, which should get me a median of 23. Now you don't have to do this, but I'm going to go up there and I'm actually going to kind of write it in. Not in my data, but just to remind myself 23 is my median, just like I had circled 65 as my median. So if that's my median, and I don't want to include my median in my lower set and my upper set, I will only go from 22 down to 1, and I'll go from 24 up to 39. So again, just like how here I didn't include my median when I boxed off my sets, and I didn't include my median here, even though it wasn't really in the data when I boxed off my sets. So now when I'm going for the first quartile or the lower quartile, I'll cross off 1 and 22, then 12 and 19, and 15 is my first quartile. Do the same thing here, 24, 39, 26, 33, and then get 29. It's my third quartile. Inner quartile range will be 29 minus 15, which is 14. All right. Now, the lower extreme and the upper extreme go from 1 to 39, which isn't as much of a difference, but I think I'm going to go by 5s. So I'm going to start at 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Actually have a little bit extra room, but that's okay. Okay, then I go back in and I put my 5 dots on there. So first one is 1, and then my upper quartile was 39, my median 23, right about there, 15, and 29. Then I go and I'm going to draw the line all the way through all of mine, and then just put my box in the middle. Again, it doesn't matter how you do it. All right, answering some questions. Now it says, in what quarter of the data are the numbers closest? So what this is referring to is I'm going to write really small. This was 1, this was 15, 23, 29, and 39. What this is asking is, between what quartiles is the data closest? So like between the 1 and the 15 there's 14 in between. Between 15 and 23, there's 8. So 8 means those are closer than 14. But let's keep going. So between 23 and 29, that's 6. And then 29 and 39, that's 10. So in what quarter are the numbers closest? That would be the smallest number, 6. So that is the third quarter where the data is closest together. And then it says what the data is widely spread in which quarter. That would be the biggest, so that would be 14. So that would be my first quarter. And then this is a tricky question. It says, by using your plot, is there a 13-year-old volunteer? So the key here is by using your plot. So we're not going back to the top of this question and looking at our data. We're not seeing if there's a 13 in our data. We're actually seeing if we can see for sure that there's a 13 in our plot. So we come up here. We would go to roughly 13. And and we'd come up to our line, and there is a line there. But does that mean for sure that there's a 13-year-old? Because what this, I'm going to erase my little arrows. What this section is saying is that there are people, 25% to be precise, of the people are between the ages of 1 and 15. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there's any 13-year-olds. So if the question asks, and I'm crossing this out just for a second, is there a 65-year-old? I would come up to my data, go to 65, and say, there isn't any data even that far up on the plot because my highest number is 39. So if it said something like that, we could for sure say, no, there's definitely not someone that's 65. But for 13, we can't quite be sure. So what I would say is there's not enough info. Now, if the question didn't say using your plot, it said using your data set, meaning I can zoom out and go all the way back up here to the original set of numbers they gave me, there was no 13. Meaning I would say, no, there isn't anyone who's 13 years old. But based on just the plot, we can't really be sure.